I'm so excited to dive into yet another epic Rebel Radio conversation with my new friend, Jody Deane. Welcome to the show, Jody, and please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and who you're here to serve.
Great, thank you, Cindy. Hi, yes, lovely to be here, first of all. Jody Deane, I am a coach, an energy healer, an author, actor, comic, and a few other things as well. This keeps growing, podcaster too. But what I specialize in is helping and assisting and supporting heart-based leaders and visionaries who want to really play at their A game, the top of the game, top of their field, to activate their multi-dimensional magnificence and their higher natures, and catalyze their awakening process and ascension journey. And I do that with mindset and flow, and using my kind of intuitive toolbook. In a nutshell, you could just call it, I think the skill set, it best describes it as just like soul coaching. It's very expansive, and it's helping people to reach further and higher, and to be, as well as the best version of they can be, like the multiple versions of who they can be.
Oh, I love that so much. And I think that this conversation is so important these days because, humanity's going through a conscious up level. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that are still trying to work within the 3D realm, and we're all being ascended. And so it's time to learn how to embrace all of the pieces of us. I think that's really important. So thank you for doing this work.
So welcome. That's what I'm called to do. So yeah. There's
Beautiful.
No going back.
Right? Once you know, you can't unknow.
Absolutely.
I love that. So the conversation here at Rebel Radio is around a couple of topics: self-mastery and wealth. Those are really the two biggest pieces that I'm most passionate about and want to share with the world. But I feel like self-mastery is a word or a term that has a different meaning. It's like the word success. Nobody really knows how to define it. So I'm curious what self-mastery means to you.
Great question. And it is an ongoing question for me. It's a work in progress, understanding what self-mastery is, because as myself grows and develops and changes, so does my whole understanding around what mastering myself actually really means, and mastering the self, and anyone mastering themselves as well. So with that caveat, it means whole person, whole being integration, to the point where we are no longer in the vibration of fear. That's definitely a primary thing. And we're no longer beholden to the shadow aspects of the self, which manifest as less than fulfilling behaviors, less than ideal ways of being. And so that all of our being, all of our self, is harnessed for that which we wish to intentionally be in the world, in this world and in the other world. So that we are poised, we are absolutely a honed instrument in this incarnation, in this body, for that which we wish to bring forward, for that who we truly are within, and so we can fully be of service and fully assist in, that we are a flow. We are not a stop. We are not a rock or a block. We are a flow. We are a curve.
Yes, I love that so much. I love that. And I love that you say it's a work in progress, because I don't think we ever really reach this level of total mastery where we've got it all figured out. I know I don't, that's for sure. Always learning, always growing, and always expanding, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, absolutely. It's so much about that as well, that there is no final destination, that's all just a concept. It's a construction, a mental construction, that you just suddenly reach this level and then you are mastered, and that is all, it is over, everything.
Right.
It's a lie. It doesn't happen. Life doesn't happen like that. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. And then knowing that there's no final destination gives you permission to enjoy the journey, right? Yeah. Every day at a time. I love it. I love it. So, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, how has self mastery supported you in this online business coaching space?
well, it's a notion, it's an ideal which I always strive for and aspire to, and don't always hit, and that's also about just being honest and being humble and being truthful as well, like not making oneself out to be, God's greatest gift to the world.
Right.
Right, that humility is actually so important and often
Mhm.
very refreshing,
Yeah.
um to just to know that, and to just be transparent. I think for other people to just know that you're not making yourself out to be, the best ever. The vulnerability and the transparency is just huge, and that's also that is self-awareness as well.
Hmm.
So to it helps me, it guides me, it assists me, it does enable me, following my vision of self mastery, and looking at my thoughts, my belief systems, my emotional state, my vibrational frequency, and always monitoring it and checking in with it and tracking it and going, is this the best that I can do? Is this, what needs to happen in order for me to get there? If it's not, and what's blocking me, what's holding me back, what am I still beholden to, what am I still dragging my feet with? And it's a constant thing, and sometimes you go high and then, oh, there's a dip. No, you get caught by some old story, trauma, belief, and pulled down again. And then it's about having that resilience and maturity as well, to just kind of pick oneself back up and go, right, we're going to go better, we're going to go higher, and we're going to reach, these notes that we want to get to, because we know that's the next level for us, right? It's also about having that vision and understanding about, okay, what is the next level for me? And having our mentors and our coaches and our masters who can also pull us up
Hmm.
as well, assist us, bringing us forward, that we can expand, and what we aspire to is seen and heard and reached as well. So that's super important for me, to have that tracking, to have that guidance and that assistance, because you can't do it all on
Mm.
your own. The
Oh my
whole
gosh.
idea,
Right?
right? That, I mean, what are you talking about? But that's like a trip that's sold. There's like a story that is definitely sold to the world.
Yeah.
The self-made millionaire and all that.
Right? Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
the overnight success.
Every good coach needs a coach. That's my opinion. And I think it's really important. We're not here on our own. We're not here solitary. We are all connected. And I think that the more we work together and collaborate and support each other, then we lift all of humanity up, and not just, the self-made millionaire. Guaranteed that self-made millionaire is not a self-made millionaire.
Never is a self-made millionaire a self-made millionaire.
No, no. They've had
Is it?
support and mentors and help, and the money itself had to come from somebody. So
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
it's just a total myth. And that's not to sort of detract from the understanding that, you can rise out of the rags and move to the riches. Yes, you
Oh,
can,
hell
absolutely.
yes, you
Yeah,
can.
whatever that looks like for you, whether it really is rags, or
Hmm.
whether it's just a mediocrity middle class existence, but you want to like go for gold, of course. And that, with mindset, with support, with training, with the right habits, the right belief systems, and an ethos of like constant never ending improvement, that you can get there. Absolutely. It's not about that.
Absolutely.
It's not about like, oh, it's only, those who are privileged or entitled or born into money or are lucky or anything like that. That's just nonsense stories. But it's just about getting real and going, it requires work, it requires time, it requires effort, and it requires help, team support, association, community, because we are human beings and we don't exist in a vacuum.
Exactly.
We exist in a world, and that we are connected to everyone and everything, actually, and understanding that.
Yeah.
Well,
I love that so much. And that actually leads right into my next question perfectly, which I'm not surprised by, is this concept of wealth. And wealth is a word that can be triggering for some because we've got this mental capacity, this belief that, you got to be bad to be rich, or, there's so many money stories out there. And I'm just curious, again, with wealth, what does it mean to you to be wealthy?
such a wonderful question, actually.
Thank you.
Something I've been ruminating on for years and decades. And it's the sense of, for me, it's the sense when I really look into this, and especially now in this moment, it's a sense of well-being and trust and being supported, being self-sustaining, having options, having choices.
Yes. Yes.
And being informed as well, for me, goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, I love that. And it's funny because every time I ask this question on the show, rarely does somebody say wealth is money, which I absolutely love. I think money is a side effect of wealth, and the wealth comes when you feel well-rounded in every area of your life, and your relationships are thriving, and your health is thriving. And yes, your bank account is thriving too, but that's just a material side effect of all of that.
Exactly, it is an effect. The monetary stuff is a mirror and an effect of that those other pieces being met.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, along this journey of entrepreneurship, I imagine you've learned quite a few lessons about yourself and how to do things. And here comes the one thing questions that everybody loves from me. What is one truth that you wish every entrepreneur knew?
Hmm. 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 Wow. I mean, because my mind's coming up with kind of more cliched answers, and I'm going, no, Jody, not that one, not that one. Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left until we get to the good stuff.
I love that. The mind is trying to fill in the blanks. It's like, no, just keep going.
It's coming. It's coming. I know there's a gold nugget. Okay, so I think it's like a two-part answer.
Okay.
So mindset, which is much bandied about as a term and a concept,
Yes.
and much beloved as well,
hmm
is almost everything.
I love that you said almost. Okay, good.
Almost everything.
So, what
And
is the
then
everything?
this is the key to success, resilience in entrepreneurship, mindset, and it's much overlooked still because people don't have self-awareness.
Right.
They don't, and then they don't understand that how pernicious mindset, perniciously mindset affects them in every area of their life and their business. So that's the first piece. And the second piece is that support, mentorship, team coaching is critical.
Yes.
And
And I think that
yeah,
support's going to help you with the mindset, but it's also going to help you in, just understanding all of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. This gig's not always easy. So I think having that support is crucial. And you're right, mindset is almost everything. I love that. That was a great answer. Thank you. So
welcome.
along your journey as an entrepreneur, what's something that you've discovered about yourself that makes you unique and stands out as an entrepreneur?
I would say that I bridge many worlds, many worlds. I do work on a soul level and guidance, and I work with a team to assist me with that in the spirit realm, talking non-physical consciousnesses.
So you're a channel?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have experiences and have had roles in all kinds of different fields, from book marketing and publishing, international publishing rights, and event promotion and event management and acting and sales, art,
A little bit of everything. I love it.
comedy, writing.
Welcome to entrepreneurship, where you do a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I feel very much like that is me, that I bridge all these different worlds, and I have a vast interest in the interconnectedness of all things.
I love that
And
so much.
that constantly feeds into everything that I do, because it's not something you can just like get. It takes years to really get it, because the programming of the societal cultures that we grow up in are so opposed to that, polarized the other way, that everything is random and it's all chance.
Yeah.
And it's a
Bullshit.
blatant lie. It's a hit, exactly. It's a bullshit. It's a blatant lie, and people don't understand how much this has affected them all the time. So that when they're panicking, when they're in fear and worry, that's all, part of this root, this way of thinking about things that is not rooted in this deep understanding. And so it's about changing over slowly to this being in a rooted understanding of the way everything is one and everything is connected, and that all realities are happening simultaneously in this now moment.
Yes. Oh, so good. So I want to take the taboo a little bit out of channeling, because I'm also a channel. I work with my mentor as a channel as well. And I think there's a big misunderstanding about what channeling is. So I'm curious to know. So for me, I believe that every human being is a channel. We're electromagnetic beings, and the science states that if we can get our brainwaves in the right place, then we are channels. And I mean, we're all channeling our ego in a way, but we can also open up to other frequencies and other streams of consciousness. So I'm curious what you feel channeling is and what your opinion is around that, because I'd love to just open up the conversation and make it more mainstream.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love that you want to do that. I really do. I feel it's so important.
It's not weird.
It's totally so not weird.
Yeah.
So, well, the funny thing is that when I was in the acting world, people would talk about, channeling this person, right? Channeling that person, and as an actor, right, in a role. And that was a key for me. It was like, oh my God, that's almost like what we're doing in acting, and like what the acting training is around is being completely neutral, so you can become person. a different person, a
Mm-hmm.
different consciousness. But you put yourself into that as well. And and with improv as well, that was another way in that I was realizing, oh my God, this is actually very close to channeling.
I love that
Um,
analogy. That's great. That's a really good real life example, right? That's great.
yeah, yeah. And I don't say it lightly as well, because I've been really living it and experiencing it,
Hmm.
and also realized that actually the doing that, those skills or that training and all of that, partly has been to prepare me to channel, to help
Mm-hmm.
me see and know that I can do it.
Yeah.
Right. So then, it was like, what do you do in your life, and what experiences you've had prepare you and set you up for the next stages.
Hmm.
Um, and so I mean, it's something a subject I'm absolutely fascinated by as well, because I'm absolutely recognizing this part of me that does not want to give up control as well.
Right? The mind just wants to hold on.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And so channeling is really challenging with
Hmm.
that part of myself, and I have to kind of override that part and just allow, let's go, and just and it gets easier and easier every time. But yeah, there's something to be said for that, because it's like the whole understanding that I have around personal growth, spiritual development, and the journey of the soul towards evolution is going from my will to divine will.
Hmm.
I don't mean that in a Jesus, Bible, godly sense necessarily. I mean that it's the flow of creation being
Yes.
allowed to come through you,
Yes.
the flow of intelligence, untarnished, untainted, that pure connection, source flow through you without being, inhibited. And
Hmm.
and so, because it's a loving, serving energy, then that becomes like divine will, right? So then it's realizing that you are, in some, the Advaita thing, right? The non-duality thing. If you're not the doer, but
Hmm.
that in action, so that, well, actually, if I really understand who I am, I'm not this identity, I'm not this personality. It's just an aspect of, it's like filters that this I consciousness has, this I am.
Hmm.
And truly being in the I am is actually a field, it's like a field of flow, a field of
Yes.
flow. So the divine will is this field of flow. And so we go from me and what I want and my needs, and I'm separate and I have to survive in this difficult world, and make it for myself, and it's all about me and protecting mine and sustaining me only, and all of that, and struggle and fear-based reality, to all is given, love is now, there is no destination.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
what I mean by divine will, right? That
Hmm.
complete unfettered flow in the now, presence, which is,
Yes.
yeah, presence, archetypal presence,
Mm.
beingness, being with.
Yes. I love that. I love it. And you used a term, the flow of creation. That's, to me, that's what channeling is that flow of creation. Because when you are open and you're uninhibited and you're allowing that to flow through you, you can create anything. It's magical. I
It
love
is
it.
absolutely magical, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Miraculous.
Right? Absolutely. Jody, I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you. And as always, we end Rebel Radio with one last question. What do you dream of for the world?
Ah, ah, thank you. Absolutely. I dream of a planet that is healed of the wounds of separation.
Mm.
I dream of unity, of oneness, of each person recognizing their innate, unique expression of truth and divine source consciousness and seeing it in everyone.
You make me cry. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on the show.
You're so welcome. Thank you for interviewing and your great questions as well, Cindy.